Hello students and welcome to the class of economics. Today we are starting with a fifth chapter, that is production function, and this is first video. 4 chapters we have already completed. Now starting with this fifth chapter. So first we should know about what is production actually. When we talk about production, it is something that we are using the inputs in case of raw material, or if we are using human resources who are actually using this raw material and converting it into finished products or final goods. So when we talk about production process, it is just converting input to output or raw material to final goods. So basically if we define it, it is combining inputs in order to get the output, that is production. That is when we assemble or combine certain inputs in terms of raw materials, machines, equipments and various other things to produce or to make final output, or in order to get the output, that is production. So it is the conversion of input into output, or we can talk about that it is converting input to output or final goods, that is production process. And production function, now the chapter belongs to, it is an expression of the technological relation between physical input and output of a goods. Technological relation, which means we are using certain techniques, methods to convert that input to output. So it is always an expression of technological relation between input and output to get the final good. Symbolically if we talk about, so we can have production function, that is O stands for output, is equal to F for functional relationship between L and K, that is labor and capital, because we need to use the capital also, which is used for investing in the business to start the business or for the production process, and labor we require for making or converting for some physical activity by which these laborers or employees are converting input to output. So O is the output, F is the functional relationship, and L for labor and K for capital. Okay. So symbolically if we represent this, this is the symbolical expression of output or production. Now talking about the next topic, that is two factors are there, that is fixed and variable factors, which we are using for the process of production. When we talk about fixed factor, it is actually fixed assets, that is land, building, plant and machinery, equipments, these are fixed asset. So these can be called as a fixed factor. So it refers to those factors which cannot be changed in the short run. Here short run means short time period. Okay. So during a short time period, we cannot actually change the fixed factor or fixed asset, which is plant and machinery, equipments, land, building and so on. And the quantity of fixed factor remains fixed in respective of the level of output. That means whatever may be the production, if we are trying to increase the level of output, still in a short time period we cannot change or we cannot make any variation in the fixed factor, that is plant and machinery, land or building. Now moving to second topic, that is variable factor. Now as the name suggests, variable means there are certain variations. That means these factors can actually be changed in short run also and in long run also. So it refers to those factors which can be changed in the short run or short time period. For example, raw materials, casual labors, power, fuel, etc. So these are certain things which are called as variable factors, which could be changed in a short time period. So these factors vary, that is it changes directly with the level of output. As the level of output is increasing, these factors will also change. Like here you can see capital, which is all the same only, whereas labor, which we are increasing because we need to increase the output. So as the output is increasing, the labor, that is a variable factor, which is also increasing, but capital, which is a fixed factor, so it is not at all changing. So here units of capital use remain the same for all the levels of output. That means whatever be the output, it is, you can see the output is increasing, but still capital is just same or remains same only because it is a fixed factor, whereas amount of labor increases. The amount of labor which we are increasing because of increase in the level of output, because it is a variable factor which will show certain changes in that. Now next is production function and time period. When as I talk about short run and long run, that is short time period and long time period. So in production function there is a necessity of time period also, great importance, that is production function is a long period function. When we talk about production function, it is a long period function, that means it is continuous for a longer period of time till the business doesn't wind up. Okay. So, if all the inputs are varied, whereas production function is a short period production function, if few variable factors are combined with few fixed factors. That means if we are going to combine few variable factors with few fixed factor, then it continues for a short period time. Now concept of this time period can be classified into two, that is short period and long period, or we can call it short run and long run. Now first we talk about short period or short run. It is that period where supply or output can be altered means can be changed by changing only variable factors. Now variable factors here can be raw material or labors, etc. in factor of production. In other words, fixed factor of production remain fixed. That means those who are fixed factor will remain same, whereas those who are variable factors will change or is going to change in short run. Whereas when we talk about long run or long period, it is that period where all factors of productions are changed to bring about changes in the output or supply. That means whenever the firm decides to change the output or to increase the output, so in long run they can change the fixed factor as well as variable factor. But when it comes to short run or short time period, only variable factors could see the change or could have a change, whereas the fixed factor cannot change, it remains same only. Now difference between short run and long run on the basis, these are basis of difference. First we talk about meaning. Only variable factors are changed in short run, whereas in long run all factors are changed, including fixed as well as variable factors. When we talk about price determination, in short run demand is more active, whereas in long run both demand and supply play equal role. Why? Because we can change all the variable factors altogether. Then classification. In short run factors are classified as fixed and variable in short run, whereas in long run all factors are variable. Why? Because we can change fixed as well as variable factors. So all factors remain variable in the long run time period. Now the concept of product, when we talk about production function. Now what is product, which is the root word of production? So it can be divided into three, that is total product, average product and marginal product, and we require this for the calculation purpose when we have tabular presentation. So first we talk about total product. When we say total product, it is total quantity of goods produced by a firm or industry or manufacturing industry during a given period of time with given number of inputs. That means it is total quantity of goods which is required to produce by a firm or industry during a given period of time and with the given number of inputs. Now inputs here can be fixed and variable factor both. Second is average product. When we talk about average, it refers to output per unit of variable input. That means the per unit which we are using as a variable input. Variable inputs means which we can change, like raw material, machineries and so on. So it refers to output per unit of variable input, whereas average product is also known as average physical product. Okay. Now average product can be calculated as total product divided by units of variable factor, which symbolically we are using it as N, that is number of units. And total product in terms of average product will be total product is equal to average product into units of variable factor. That is, if we wanted to calculate total product, either we can use the formula, that is summation of all marginal product, or if we are having average product to find out total product, then we can do so by average product into number of units or variable factor, and we can calculate easily total product. Now third topic is marginal product. It refers to addition. Marginal itself means something which is added to. Okay, so it refers to addition to total product. Any further or successive addition to total product called as marginal product when one more unit of variable factor is employed or added in total product. So we can calculate it as marginal product of N, that is number of units. N here stands for number of units of variable factor, okay, is equal to total product of again nth unit minus total product of N minus 1, where we can know that marginal product of N is marginal product of nth unit of variable factor which we wanted to calculate. That is one further addition to total product. If we wanted to calculate, then we can use this formula. Okay. Now here total product of nth unit means total product of n units of variable factor. Total product of n minus 1 is total product of n minus 1 here means unit of variable factor in which we wanted to subtract any one single unit. N is number of units of variable factor, and we derive total product by marginal product as summation of marginal product. That is, total product can be calculated as sum of, okay, sigma, the sign is used here, that is summation of or sum of all marginal product. Now next is law of variable proportion or returns to factor. This is also one of, just like you did law of demand, law of diminishing marginal utility, same way here in this chapter we have law of variable proportion. Now variable proportion, variable itself means all those factors which are variable, that is all those factors which can be changed in certain proportion, or it can be called as a return to a factor. Now what is statement of law of variable proportion or definition is, in short period when only one variable factor is increased, keeping other factors constant. Now here other factors can be many factors, it can be many reasons, like just like we did in law of demand, the factors which influence the law of demand. So here we can have various fixed as well as variable factors. So in short time period when only one variable factor is increased where other factors are remaining constant, the total product initially increases. That means, as the law suggests, total product will initially increase at an increasing rate, then increases at a decreasing rate, and finally total product decreases at a negative rate. It can be classified into three phases. That means this law of variable proportion is having three phases of changes between total product and marginal product. So the reflection can be phase 1 where total product rises at increasing rate, and with that marginal product is also increasing. In the second phase, total product rises but at decreasing rate, now not at increasing but at decreasing rate, and marginal product decreases but remains positive still. In phase 3rd, that is the last phase, total product falls and marginal product becomes negative. So these are the three phases in law of variable proportion. This law is explained with the help of some table and diagram. Now we will see the behavior of total product and marginal product in this particular law. As you can see that we have 5 columns, units of land which is fixed because it is a fixed factor, it will remain same, whereas unit of labor, labor is a variable factor which we are changing, as you can see, that is we are increasing now according to the total product. Now total product or output, if we want more output or more production, so we need to, that is the firm needs to increase the variable factor in short run, and they can easily increase so like labor, whereas land will remain same. Now total product which we can see, it is increasing, okay, at one particular point of time it is same and then it is decreasing, because this whole law of variable proportion is divided into 3 phases, as I said. Now marginal product which you can see, it is increasing, then again it is decreasing, becoming 0 and then at negative, because these are the reflection of the 3 phases. Now here you can see stage 1, this particular stage where we say stage of increasing marginal product, that is marginal product which is increasing. It is also called as stage of increasing returns to a factor. Even total product is also increasing. Now stage 2nd which you can see, it consists of these 2 columns where we see stage of diminishing marginal product, that is marginal product is diminishing or decreasing from 3 to 2. And we can see, observe total product still is increasing but at decreasing rate. Then stage 3rd, that is stage of negative returns. Now here we can see marginal product is being negative, it is 0 now, and then after that it is -1, also called as stage of negative returns to a factor. Now this table shows that as more and more units of labor are used just to have more production, it combines with fixed amount of land, that means land which is fixed, it remains same whatever may be the level of output or whatever may be the production, whereas marginal product tends to, in first phase it tends to rise at an increasing rate, and then it tends to increase but at decreasing rate, and after that it becomes negative, okay. Now this is a situation of increasing return to the factor. But with the application of 4th unit of labor, situation of diminishing returns sets in, that marginal products start decreasing and total product increases only at the decreasing rate. And the 3rd phase is which suggests that marginal product becomes 0 and after that it becomes negative. Eventually MP, that is marginal product, may be negative. Now output, that is total product, start declining as from 15 to 14 when 8th unit of the variable factor is employed. Now in the diagram, through the diagram also you can see that this is total product, okay. This is units of the variable factors which we are changing, that is labor, whereas land, which is a fixed factor, which remains same. Now this is marginal product, this is total product on OY axis. Now here we can notice that marginal product tends to rise till point E, that is marginal product tends to rise till point E. After that it is falling, okay. After the second phase it is falling, and this is a situation of increasing returns to a factor. When marginal product is rising, total product tends to rise at an increasing rate. That means till when marginal product is rising, total product is also rising, okay, and after that also it is rising, first at decreasing rate, then at increasing rate. Marginal product tends to decline after point E, and after point E marginal product tends to decline up to point S, and on MP curve, and TP increases only at a diminishing rate, and this occurs between K and T, that is total product if it is increasing, but now at decreasing rate. First it was increasing up to K, that is stage 1 at increasing rate, then from K to T, this total product curve, it is increasing but at a decreasing rate, and this corresponds to a situation of diminishing returns to a factor. Now third stage, when employment of labor exceeds, that means if the firm is employing more and more labor, marginal product becomes negative in that, and accordingly marginal product becomes negative, that means after point S it becomes negative, whereas total product start declining, and you can see that total product is start declining here after point T, and this is a situation of negative returns to a factor, that is phase third. Now what are the reasons of this returns, that is increasing returns to factor and decreasing returns to factor? That is, out of these three, the two phases which says that reasons for increasing return and decreasing return. So the reasons which we are going to discuss, the first is better utilization of fixed factor. That means when it comes to reasons for increasing returns to a factor, it is because of better utilization of fixed factor. Fixed factor here is land. That is the firm or industry is utilizing at its maximum, that is this piece of land they are utilizing more at its maximum. So in the first phase, the supply of fixed factor, that is land, is too large, and fixed factors are indivisible and underutilized. Fixed factor is generally indivisible, you cannot divide land, okay. With greater application of variable factor, this application of variable factor here is labor. Factors are better utilized, that means we have more labors, even we have more fixed factor, that is land. So we can better utilize both the factors, land as well as labor. Then total product start increasing at increasing rate, and marginal product is also increasing. This was the first reason. Second reason for increasing return is increase in efficiencies of variable factor. Now here efficiencies of variable factor is labor. So efficiency of all the laborers or employees or variable factor, when it is increasing, it gives more and more return. That means they are much able doing hard work, so it leads to increase in production or more output. So when variable factor, that is labor, are increased and combined with fixed factor, that is land, then labor is utilized in a more efficient manner, and when labor is increased, then there is division of labor. That means when we are increasing the labor, then division of labor will be there, or division of work will be there, which leads to specialization, and efficiency will increase, and it will increase the production also. Third is optimum combination of factors. Among the different combinations between fixed and variable factors, there is one best combination at which total product is maximum. That means only one combination is there where fixed factor and variable factor, or total product and marginal product, are its maximum. The addition of more and more units, that means one more addition to fixed factor or variable factor, improves the utilization of fixed factor, and the increasing return apply as long as, that means this increasing return applies as long as the level of combination is achieved, and the level of combination where total product and marginal product both are increasing at an increasing rate. So to achieve that, variable factor is constantly increasing, whereas fixed factor remain same. Now reasons for diminishing returns to a factor, that means now that we found that in marginal product and total product, marginal product becomes negative after falling and total product it is decreasing or having fall. So what are the reasons for those diminishing returns? First is indivisibility of factors. When we talk about indivisibility, it happens only in the case of fixed factor, that we cannot divide the fixed factor. And fixed factors are indivisible. After making the optimum use of fixed factor, that is land, the marginal returns of variable factor begins to diminish and total product increases by a lesser amount. That is, marginal product is declining when on a fixed piece of land or fixed factor we cannot change or we cannot divide that, but we are increasing the labor on that same piece of land. Then what will happen is the marginal returns of variable factor or marginal product is going to diminish and total product will increase, but at a diminishing rate or lesser amount. Second reason is imperfect substitutes. Now substitutes means those goods which are of similar nature. Okay. Now when we say imperfect, that means the substitutes are imperfect, like diminishing returns to factor may also occur because fixed and variable factors are imperfect substitute. That means both cannot be a substitute of each other. Land for labor, both are used as a complementary goods. Okay. Complementary goods means without land, labor is useless, or without labor, land is useless. Okay. So we need to combine both of them as a complementary goods, but they are not a perfect substitute. So we can call them imperfect substitutes of one another. This can be substituted for one another only to a certain limit. That means only to a certain or particular limit we can call them substitute of each other, but not a perfect substitute. Beyond that limit they cannot be substituted with one another, which leads to diminishing return, because less part of land or less acre of land is there and more laborers if you are employing, that cannot be a better combination or imperfect substitute. So it leads to diminishing marginal product as well as total product. Now reasons for negative, third phase which we have found, that it is negative, marginal product becomes negative and there is a fall in total product also. Now this particular phase can be called as negative returns. Now what are the reasons for this negative returns to a factor? First is limitation of fixed factor. That means there is always a limit of use of a piece of land. Some factors of production are often fixed in nature, like land, and cannot be increased with an increase in variable factors. We cannot stretch or we cannot expand land with the changes in the variable factor, or when we employ more and more laborers in short run, which leads to negative returns to, and because of which it leads to negative returns to a factor, that is production is or output is less in comparison to. Second can be poor coordination between variable. That means, as I said, that both are imperfect substitute of each other, that is fixed factor and variable factor. Same way, if there is a poor coordination or combination of fixed and variable factor, then also it leads to negative return. Like when variable factors are increased, that means we are employing more and more labor on a small piece of land, that is fixed factor, and it is too large in relation to fixed factor, then they obstruct each other, which leads to poor coordination. Both of them are obstructing each other. Why? Because it is a bad combination when we say more laborers we have and a small piece of fixed factor or land is there. So as a result, total product falls. That means production, what we have estimated, it will fall. It is going to fall and marginal product becomes negative because of that. Third can be decrease in efficiency of variable factor. That means if the efficiency of variable factors or laborers, if it is declining, then also we cannot get the estimated output or we cannot have more production. So when variable factors are continuously increased, then the benefit of specialization, division of work, we will not get, and it starts diminishing and it leads to inefficiencies of laborers or inefficiencies from the part of variable factor, which is the reason of negative returns to a factor. Now next topic is relationship between marginal product and total product. As we have discussed various topics on total product, marginal product, average product. Now what are the relation between both of them? When we talk about relation between marginal product and total product, as symbolically we can have that summation of all marginal product is equal to total product. Okay. So as long as marginal product is increases, total product also increase at an increasing rate according to the law of variable proportion. Second can be when marginal product decreases, total product also increases but at diminishing rate. And finally, when marginal product is 0, total product is at its maximum. And fourth stage, when marginal product is negative, total product starts decreasing. So this is actually the relation according to law of variable proportion between total product and marginal product. Now relationship between average product and marginal product. Average product increases so long as marginal product is more than average product. And second, average product is at its maximum, that is average product will be at its maximum when average product and marginal product are just same. Third combination or third relation which we can have is average product decreases or falls when marginal product is less than average product. Thereafter both average product and marginal product falls, but MP may be 0 or negative, whereas average product continues to be positive only. So these are relationship between two aspects. This is all about today's video. Till then, thank you.